Okay, Matt here talking the weather, and gosh, we've had so much of it. Our people up in the northwest in Washington still dealing with it. I'm grateful that it's past us.
Yeah, we kind of, as much rain as we had, not nearly as bad as it is up in western Washington. This was the scene from our camera in Vancouver. Looking south at Portland, love this because, first of all, you can see some breaks in the clouds. You can see the wind working on the river there, and then the river flowing. And the Columbia is running high, but not near flood stage at all, nor is the Willamette. And the only river in Oregon that is still under a flood warning is the Luckiamute River down around Albany. That's it. Portland, though, boy, is it ever warm. We're still at 59 degrees. Still a pretty good breeze, too. Out of the southwest, 17. We're occasionally getting some higher gusts, but we're not getting much rain. A few showers here and there, and this is how it'll go tomorrow as well. But up in Washington, still getting rain. As the atmospheric river, it's weakening, but it's really not going to relent until tomorrow. See, there's some heavy rain there right around Stevens Pass. We also still have a high wind warning up around Tri-Cities, and then a wind advisory in the rest of the Columbia Basin here until tomorrow morning for good reason. Look at these gusts. The Tri-Cities Airport, a gust of 58. Ajax in Oregon, 59. Helix, 53. Hermiston, 46. That wasn't the only thing going on in Hermiston today. I'll point that out in a minute. Pendleton had a gust of 35. Now, our wind gust forecast overnight, they drop down. We'll get to the gusts will be below 20 miles an hour by late morning or so tomorrow, when it'll still be in the mid-50s. We only dropped to 55 tonight. Some showers early. Then most of the rest of the day looks pretty dry. Sunset at 4:27. That is our earliest of the year. It'll be that early until the 15th of December, but the sunrise keeps getting later until the end of the month. Okay, here's the atmospheric river. The source region is beginning to get cut off. There's still a lot of moisture coming up from near Hawaii, but this is going to sort of fizzle out as we go into Friday. Rainfall for us, not very much. Until we get into Sunday, it picks up again, and then the 3-4 day total is about 1.5 inches to 3 inches. But the good news on this is that it's looking a little more likely that we'll go into a colder pattern beginning about Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And if this develops like this, it would mean snow returns to the Cascades. Here's the reason I say that. Watch what the snow level does. By Wednesday, it's down below 4,000 feet and stays there, which would be fantastic to get the snow level that low, which means all of the ski slopes in Oregon would begin to get snow. And our snowfall forecast here is actually ramped up a bit from the last iteration of the model run, which is also a good sign that perhaps the models are getting their act together and really zeroing in on what will really happen, and hopefully that will be snow in the Cascades next week. Okay, back to Hermiston. We'll start at Pendleton, 68. That's a record high for the day, breaking a record which stood since 1933. So a 92-year-old record fell today. And just down the road in Hermiston, they hit 70 this afternoon. That was the hot spot of the state. Portland, 62, not a record, but way above the average by like 15 degrees. It is 59 right now in Portland, and it will be a cloudy night, but really not much rain, and not much rain tomorrow. Scattered light showers, low of 55, high of 58, so not much of a change in temperatures. We'll see dry weather on Friday and Saturday with fog in the mornings. Then we finally get temperatures down to the 40s on Saturday morning, and rainy next week. But again, towards the middle and end of next week, Christine, it looks like we'll finally begin to get some mountain snow.
Hard to believe, though, that a city out there hit 70 degrees.
In Oregon on December 10th. How about that?
My gosh. Okay, thanks, Matt.